It's that voodoo girl, voodoo girl. It's that voodoo girl, voodoo girl. It's that voodoo girl, voodoo girl.
She likes to laugh a lot, and she hella cool.
It's that voodoo girl, voodoo girl. It's that voodoo girl, voodoo girl. It's that voodoo girl, voodoo girl.
This is for my gamer girls doing it around the world.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? VoodoGirl here, also known as Suck My Spork on Twitter. And if you weren't already aware, ladies and gentlemen, sporks are very awesome, and you should really be following me on Twitter. So today's commentary is going to be about the age-old argument, Xbox 360 versus PS3. So it was a suggestion provided to me on Twitter as a commentary topic, why people like Xbox better when you have to pay. So I know this is a very old topic and it's probably been discussed to the ground, but it's not the first time someone has asked me to make a commentary about this. And also keep in mind that I'm not like super tech savvy and blah blah blah, so these are just my opinions on the consoles and whatnot. You should also keep in mind that you can't be too much of a fanboy or a girl, because these consoles are going to be replaced within a year or two. So anyways, what system is quote-unquote better really depends on personal preference, the games you play along with features that they have to offer. So I personally own the PS3 and the Xbox 360, but if I had to choose just one system, I would go with the Xbox 360. With that said, what a lot of people fail to recognize when they're having these little fanboy wars is that each system has its pros and cons. So really it depends on your personal preference. You know, where one system fails, another might be superior, and vice versa. So the reason that I personally prefer the 360 is for many reasons, but one of them being the controller. And this may be because I've owned, the 360 longer. I had it way before the PS3. And, I've just become accustomed to the feel of the controller and the way that it is. It's just more comfortable for me. And, I like the way that the joysticks are situated and they feel a lot tighter, if that makes sense. I find that the joysticks on the PS3 controller stick up a lot, stick up too far, and they're too loose for my liking. I really don't like, but as you can see, this is a personal preference, of what I like. Two of the biggest differences between the Xbox 360 and the PS3 is the PS3 has free online access and a Blu-ray player, while the Xbox 360 requires a monthly membership fee, or you can pay yearly, for the gold online access, and it only has a standard DVD player. So I went ahead and put together a brief list of the pros and cons for each system. So remember, this is not an all-inclusive list. It's just a brief list of highlights of things that I just thought of quickly. My PS3 pros, I really enjoy the interface for the PS3. So the ability to use or make your own custom themes is really awesome, and the custom themes that you can have are really awesome. You can use any Bluetooth mic, and you have access to more accessories to use that, you're not forced to use accessories made by Sony. They also have a feature called PlayStation Home. It's where you have access to a virtual world where you can walk around your little avatar. There's a lot of different little worlds, also known as hubs, and since they first released it, they have a lot more stuff in there to keep you entertained. I go on there when I'm extremely bored and troll people. I've actually been suspended twice on PSN for that. Yeah, I was that bored. Anyways, the graphics for games made specifically for the PS3 are usually amazing, and you can save any compatible audio or video file to your PS3 to play it directly from the PS3. You don't have to purchase it from Sony. Has internal Wi-Fi. It's always come with internal Wi-Fi. And then there's a PS3 Plus membership that's around $50 a year, and you get quote-unquote free and discounted games and downloads. And if you actually use it, it exceeds the money that you put into it. You pretty much get your money back. So PS3 cons, the updates usually take ages to download and install. I mean, I could probably go to the store and come back sometimes when I'm downloading an update on the PS3 and it still wouldn't be done. Online access for the PS3 is free, but it's not as stable and generally it has a lot more downtime. The dashboard can sometimes be a little slow or laggy, especially when you're in a game. Unfortunately, you don't have the option of party chat like you do on the Xbox, so you're forced to deal with randoms a lot more. And, you have to go through the trouble of constantly muting people. Also, PS3, at least in my experience, has a lot more children since the online service is free. PS3 has the yellow light of death. And with the recent update, PSN IDs can now only be used. I think it's only on 2 different PS3s. And then after that, you have to contact Sony to reset your ID if you want to use it on another system. So my Xbox Pros, Xbox does have a bigger user base. It has more online users and users in general. So this means that you're going to have more friends to play with. The online, to play online, it may cost a monthly or yearly subscription, but in that regard, you do get what you pay for. And there's a lot of extras that come with that. The gamer tags are now portable. They can be used on multiple consoles. Obviously not at the same time. It used to be that you used to have to recover your gamer tag if you wanted to use it on another system, or you would have to manually transfer it from Xbox to Xbox using like a USB stick. The older 360s didn't come with internal Wi-Fi, so you had to purchase something separate if you wanted to use Wi-Fi, but the newer Xbox Slims do come with Wi-Fi built in. So with that said, I'd also like to mention that if you are a Call of Duty fan, generally will have a better multiplayer experience on the 360. And this is from personal experience and, just talking with friends. There's less lag, and I know a lot of PS3 fans will argue this, and I'm sorry, but it's true. The graphics on the 360 for Call of Duty are a lot smoother versus PS3. And then you have the option of party chat, so you don't have to deal with the stupid green bean Randys that tend to be douchebags in lobbies. I'm not saying all of them are douchebags, but So a lot of PS3 fans like to point out the red ring of death for Xbox, which isn't as common anymore in the newer Xbox 360s, the R-Rod. And in my experience, a lot of my friends in real life that had, PS3s had a lot of issues with the yellow light of death. I've seen more people have problems with PS3s versus Xboxes, with my real life friends. I luckily haven't had issues with either system, knock on wood. So but again, you do have to realize that each system has its faults. There's pros and there's cons. So you should really take all of these into consideration when considering which console is best for you. A point always brought up by Xbox fans is that PSN has been hacked, which is true. However, Xbox Live, it's also been hacked. It just wasn't as public. And when it comes to modding the actual console, the 360 is easier to mod than the PS3. It's more vulnerable in that aspect. So when someone is devoted to one side, Xbox versus PlayStation, they're always going to point out the faults. So, like I said before, and I know it's redundant, but each system has its pros along with its cons, so you need to recognize that each system, isn't perfect. So, like I said, I'm not an expert, and these are only some of my points and opinions on the systems, comparing them to each other. And when it comes to gaming, personally, I prefer my Xbox. I mean, I do use my PS3, PS3 exclusives. It does have some really good exclusives, and to play, Call of Duty with some of my PS3 friends sometimes. I do use it a lot for its media capabilities, and when I say this, I don't use it for the Blu-ray player. I know a lot of people use it as a Blu-ray player, but honestly, I've only watched one Blu-ray on it, and that was like a year ago, the very first and last time when I watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So I'm sure that a lot of people may disagree with my opinions. It's fine, but please do not come at me as a blind, belligerent fan kid. So like I've said many times already, which system is best for you is really all about your personal preference, and this will vary from person to person. Anyways, this is VoodoGirl. Hope you enjoyed the commentary. Leave a like, fave, comment, whatever you feel like doing, if you're feeling generous. And I'm out of here. Bye, guys.